Item number 4581. Level 2, Restricted. Containment class, Safe. Disruption class, Kank. Risk class, Caution. Special containment procedures. In the absence of a playback device, SCP-4581 can be considered inert and shall be stored in the temperature-controlled archival unit in the secure wing of Site-76. Any proposed testing involving SCP-4581 must be approved by Site-76 RAZOR coordinator. Sanctioned tests must only be documented via contemporaneous transcript. Audio recording devices of any kind are strictly barred from the testing environment. Description: SCP-4581 is a single-sided cassette tape, similar to the Dead Kennedys' 1981 album In God We Trust, Inc. The cassette has an extraordinary resistance to physical tampering and refuses any attempt to overwrite either side of the tape. The visual design deviates from the standard releases in several conspicuous ways. Where Side 1 should bear the release company's names, it instead has MXM Bootleg Edition, and their logo is replaced with a crossed-out swastika. This design is identical to the cover art for the 7-inch vinyl release of Nazi Punk's Fuck Off, a version which appears as track 6 in We God We Trust, Inc. Side 2 has been altered from its original message. Home taping is killing the record industry profits. We left this side blank so you can help. And now reads, copyright can poison fascist propaganda. I left this side blank so you can blank. Normal playback does not activate any anomalous effects. The album proceeds as expected with a runtime of 13 minutes and 54 seconds. As advertised, Side 2 is blank. When placed in a compatible device, any attempt to override Side 1 will trigger SCP-4581's active state. The cassette will begin playing popular music targeted for stringent copyright enforcement on YouTube at a volume of 60 to 130 decibels from no discernible source. This effect is designated SCP-4581-A. Track selection is biased towards music considered disrespectful or situationally inappropriate by observers. Despite the physical limitations of the magnetic tape, SCP-4581-A will continue playback indefinitely unless interrupted, thus posing a risk of hearing damage to observers without ear protection. For detailed testing information, consult Addendum 4581-A. When recordings of SCP-4581-A are uploaded to any network-capable device, an audio-borne info hazard, SCP-4581 Infinite, will propagate across all media the current user can possibly access. SCP-4581 Infinite overrides all audio channels with a loop of a single random track and spreads when given access to new files. This includes when a different user uploads files affected by SCP-4581 Infinite to a new network, or when the current user logs into another network. Attempting to override Side 2 triggers an opposing effect, a nullification field that silences all communications and scrubs all audio recordings within a range of 300 meters, reducing them to high-frequency noise, consistent with analog magnetic tape hiss. This effect, designated SCP-4581-B, will also persist indefinitely until interrupted, and is essential for containing SCP-4581 Infinite. It is reasonable to conclude that these combined effects were engineered with the intent of making any recorded material unusable for commercial, journalistic, or documentary purposes. See Addendum 4581-2 for expanded testing information. SCP-4581-B is preceded by an 8-second burst of high-frequency sound which displays a cataclysm mimetic hazard when rendered as an audio spectrum. Following this discovery, keywords pertaining to SCP-4581 were added to the Foundation web crawler IO Gashnia, and MXM was flagged as a potential person of interest. Discovery: SCP-4581 was recovered from the epicenter of a spontaneous communications blackout in Washington on the 20th of April 2017 after a street confrontation between left-wing and right-wing demonstrators. Local law enforcement reported an interval of deafening music before abruptly losing contact with their dispatchers inside SCP-4581-B's range of effect. Dispatched to the scene, MTF Iota-10, Damned feds discovered that all audio recorded at the event had been expunged. They identified SCP-4581 in a torn and discarded backpack, alongside a portable cassette player and a tape case stenciled with the following directions. Wear earplugs. Press record to activate. Side 1, Copyright Killer. Side 2, Getaway Jam. Track 6 Forever. Addendum 4581-1. Testing Protocol. Experiment was conducted in a soundproofed room equipped with a video camera and a microphone. SCP-4581 was placed on Side A inside a conventional cassette deck. Subject: Control. Results: Paparazzi, Lady Gaga, 60 decibels. Don't Look Any Further, Dennis Edwards, 60 decibels. Never Gonna Give You Up, Rick Ashley, 65 decibels. Comments: Researcher Gore compares the effect to a really tacky FM radio station. Subject: D6811. Former site staff traded material to Marshall, Carter and Dark Limited. Results: Blame It on Kane, Elvis Costello, 70 decibels. Pretty Fly for a White Guy, The Offspring, 70 decibels. The Hand That Feeds, 9 Inch Nails, 80 decibels. Subject: D5294, convicted murderer, domestic abuser, member of the Aryan Brotherhood. Result: Skinhead on the MBTA, Dropkick Murphys, 90 to 120 decibels. My Ex, Insane Clown Posse, 120 decibels. Broken Hearts Are for Assholes, Frank Zappa, 130 decibels. Comments: D5294 attempted to sing along with the chorus of the first track, but the volume spontaneously increased, prompting irritation. The track provoked an outburst, and the subject requested the end of the test prematurely. Afterwards, D5294 reported a severe migraine and requested painkillers, which were administered promptly. Subject: Security Officer, Staff Volunteer, former domestic law enforcement. Description: Subject was provided with over-ear hearing protection before beginning the test. Results: Prison Song, System of a New Dawn, 120 decibels. Nothing to Lose, Tupac Shakur, 130 decibels. Fucked Up Police, NWA, 130 decibels. Comments: Afterwards, Security Officer demonstrated no ill effects, affirming that any headaches associated with SCP-4581-A are non-anomalous. Following the project team's initial report, Razor detected unauthorized changes on the Site-76 staging server. Timestamps indicate that the alterations began 23 minutes after researcher Penelope Gore uploaded the first recordings of SCP-4581-A, resulting in all media associated with her account being dubbed over with Rage Against the Machine's 1992 song, Killing in the Name. Audited server logs demonstrated no signs of external penetration, suggesting that this event was a tertiary effect of SCP-4581. Razor designated this info hazard SCP-4581 Infinite. All testing was halted pending a full project review, and SCP-4581's disruption class was upgraded to Kenk. Addendum 4581-2. I screwed up. Bad. Just left the meeting with the site director and a Razor coordinator. SCP-4581 Infinite has contaminated every multimedia file I've ever uploaded at Site-76, including critical research on SCP and SCP. It's supposedly contained to our local network. To be safe, they have de-authenticated my SCIP network clearance, but they won't tell me whether the remote backups are intact. Trying not to think about it. Don't think I'm getting an official reprimand yet, but they were absolutely furious. I mean, me too. I thought the anomaly was simple. Lesson learned. Joke's on me. Har har. Entry 2. Looking at this debacle with fresh eyes, I might be onto something. I pulled an old desktop terminal out of storage, and when I used my webcam to record straight to an MP4, the resulting audio sounded clean. When I uploaded that MP4 to a virtual machine, the copy played Killing in the Name. When I moved some unrelated, non-contaminated files to the virtual machine, they got contaminated too. I don't know how it's doing this, but its persistence is wearisome. At least it picked up a good song this time. SCP-4581-A is a poison pill. Maybe it came with an antidote? Getaway Jam is a weird way to phrase mute or silence. I might be able to fix this. Currently revising and resubmitting my testing proposal. Entry 3. Good news. Tests approved. Bad news. Everyone knows. The site director has reclassified SCP-4581 to unrestricted, so literally everyone has the briefing. Honestly, I have never been so embarrassed. Okay, pity party over. Work to be done. Entry 4. SCP-4581 Infinite Communicability Test. Description: 3 air-gapped laptops were signed out for this test. Laptop C was set aside as a control. Laptop A and B were instated from USB boot drive, then assigned identical login profiles and passwords. 10 seconds of subject recorded video, selfie, angle depicting subject's exaggerated frown, transferred to laptop A. Results: laptop A and B both contaminated with SCP-4581 Infinite. Entry 5. SCP-4581-B Nullification Test. Description: laptops B and C remain SITU. Subjects proceed with a laptop A to a predestined testing area 900 meters from the Site-76 perimeter, ensuring the facility is far outside SCP-4581-B's range of influence. Subject activates SCP-4581-B, waits for 60 seconds, then deactivates the anomaly. Results: all audio content on laptop A is overwritten with high-frequency noise, including media contaminated by SCP-4581 Infinite. Description: laptop C is set with identical login credentials to A and B. 10 seconds of subject video, excitement, uploaded to laptop C. Results: no contamination. Comments: GOTC, containment re-established. At this time, the only method of removing SCP-4581 Infinite from an affected individual is direct exposure to SCP-4581-B. This will halt infohazard propagation from all derivative users, but will not restore original audio in affected files. Addendum 4581-3. On the 21st of September 2017, MTF Epsilon 20, Hogtown Garrison, raided a Montreal safehouse afflicted with the GOI 5869, Gamers Against Weed. In addition to 28 gigabytes of non-anomalous pirated media and assorted leftist propaganda, MTF Epsilon 20 recovered the following chat logs from an encrypted server. Chat log: Polar Ice Caps. God damn it, that fucking guy is back in town. Lesbian Ganger. Which guy? Polar Ice Caps. The fashy guy calls himself a journo, but he's just a fucking grifter. Follows Nazis around with cameras and then terrorize our neighbors. StackShift entered the chat. Polar Ice Caps. And cuts the vid to make them look like the victims when people fight back. Lesbian Ganger. Again, which guy? Bluntfield. There's so many dudes like that. Polar Ice Caps. That's why I'm pissed. It's super obvious what they're doing, but the lib media just plays along. And if anyone clocks him, then that's an assault on free speech or something. Tidy Duck. Got to hear both sides. Polar Ice Caps. So he keeps starting shit and putting it on YouTube and making money off the acts. StackShift. That's happening, ITC. Tidy Duck. Plus crowdfunding. Bluntfield. Pick his GMO. Getting mad online. Polar Ice Caps. Fuck off, Blunt. People keep getting hurt because of this showboat and his fascist buds. Bluntfield. Wow, someone needs a nap. Polar Ice Caps. I just want to teach those pricks a lesson. Bones. Pick, we all respect your outrage with this pattern of exploitation, but you are moving this conversation into a familiar and unwelcome direction. Polar Ice Caps. I mean that kind of lesson. Fuck, I was just like... StackShift. Hold up at Polar Ice Caps. Polar Ice Caps. Give him a swirly, not break his knees. StackShift. I have just the thing. Put together a mixtape a while back. To fuck with some RW propagandist at a demo. Mixtape came out catchier than I expected. Ended up taking their stream and ended their whole YouTube channel. They haven't posted since. Tidy Duck. Wrecked. Polar Ice Cap. So this'll ruin his day? StackShift. Oh yeah, maybe even his year. Polar Ice Caps. Sweet. Chat log. Polar Ice Caps. At StackShift, I got the package, no disrespect, but what even is this? StackShift. What do you mean? You never heard of Dead Kennedys? Polar Ice Caps. I know Dead Kennedys, but what is this? StackShift. Huh? It's a cassette tape. Polar Ice Caps. What? StackShift. Please tell me you've heard of cassettes. Polar Ice Caps. What? StackShift. Please say psych. Bluntfield. Congratulations, StackShift. You are old. StackShift. I'm only 32. KK Rule. That's old. Polar Ice Caps. Old. Don DeLillo. Old. Tidy Duck. Lemau. Told. Old. StackShift. I am not old. You're just younger. Lesbian Ganger. Oh, honey. Bluntfield. It's the children who are wrong. Bones. From my perspective, 32 terrestrial years does not seem like a long amount of time. StackShift. Thank you, Bones. Bluntfield. Lemau. Yes, thanks, Bones. Bones. You're welcome. Bluntfield. So sagely, stake shift. Wait, Bluntfield. So wise, stake shift. Terrestrial? Polar ice caps. Come on, Stake, how do I use this thing? Stake shift. Ask your parents, for fuck's sake. Research indicates that POI 6880 Polar Ice Caps was referring to a right-wing provocateur with ties to non-anomalous hate groups. Is implicated in a series of high-profile street conflicts which have resulted in one fatality and publicly reported injuries. While was present in the recovery area at the time of MTF Iota 10's investigation, he demonstrated that his camera had been wiped. Was amnesticized and released when he demanded an exorbitant monetary compensation for alleged damages. Regularly updates his media channels and is clearly not under the influence of SCP-4581 Infinite. Researchers have been unable to correlate StakeShift's alleged deployment of SCP-4581 Infinite, implying that affected users may remain uncontained. StakeShift, aka MXM, was similarly deemed POI 6966. You have one new unread messages in your inbox. Researcher Gore. We just got a potential hit on a POI you entered into the system. MTF U20 is spinning up for a catch and release operation right this second. Given your history with SCP-4581, I thought you might be able to extract some valuable information from this individual. Please let us know if you have the time and workload capacity for a second assignment. M.L. Adeline, Interim Director, Site 201. On the 23rd of May 2018, Foundation web crawler I.O. Gashnia flagged a non-anomalous swap meet in Sudbury, Ontario, where an undercover member of MTF Epsilon 20 reported an attendee wearing a MX Masters name tag. The target was apprehended when they left the venue and brought in for interrogation. Interviewed: Ren Masterson, suspected POI 6966, stake shift, MXM. Interviewer: Researcher Penelope Gore, Site 76. Begin log.
Finally. Is my lawyer on the way?
No, I'm afraid not.
Figures. Your boys just laughed when I asked about that. Are you a cop? Tipper? You have to tell me if you're a cop.
No, please don't call me that. I'm Researcher Penelope Gore and I have some questions for you.
I'm not going to answer any. Wait, those guys said. They call you Tipper Gore like the censor?
Yes, Miss Anderson?
MX Masterson. I'm a they, not a she.
Apologies. Can you guess why they call me Tipper MX Anderson?
I'm assuming you're a prude?
Not exactly. Do you like Dead Kennedys, Ren?
Yes. Oh shit! Oh, this is awkward.
Yes, well, suffice it to say I contain your project, but my coworkers enjoy rubbing it in my face. Forgive me if I'm somewhat terse.
Forgiven. Reap what you saw and all that. How'd y'all get the tape?
That's classified. Are you identifying yourself as the original owner and or creator of SCP-4581?
No?
Then why is your name on it? MX Masters, MXM? Not the most subtle of alias.
Is that what you humans call hubris?
Are you implying that you are non-human?
No, I was just trying to be funny. Fuck. Well, janitors aren't cops, technically. So, I'll indulge you. I'm not going to remember this, am I?
That's not my department.
Well, that's fucking handy. Alright, Researcher Penelope Gore. Ask your questions.
How long have you been able to create those anomalies?
Since, high school, I guess. 2003, 2004-ish.
Was there a precipitating event?
I watched The Ring. Always liked movies. Wired my VHS Disney classics and original trilogy just by watching and rewatching. But I'd never thought about making my own until I saw The Ring.
Could you expand on that?
Sure. Bottom line, the big bad is an unwanted girl who makes spirit photographs. She gets pissed, thinks about stuff, it appears on film, and it hurts people, even after she dies. First time I saw it, I was alone at home, and I thought it was stupid. I thought that's not how pictures work. That's not how movies are made. Ghosts don't call you on the phone. But I watched all the way to the end.
Go on.
And then my fucking phone rang. I almost pissed myself. It wasn't a ghost on the other end. It was just a fluke, freak timing. But when it scared me, the fear sort of jumped out. When I went back into the living room, there was the screaming, shimmering white face on the television screen. fading, indistinct. But it was my face, I could tell.
And this inspired you?
It terrified me. At first I thought my soul had fucked off through the TV set. But yeah, I tried again a few weeks later. I thought really hard at some Polaroids and it didn't do shit. Eventually I realized that I didn't know enough about the medium. I would listen to my favorite bands but didn't really understand music. I took photos and watched movies but I didn't understand film. I was seeing the world through a pinhole and didn't even realize. Turns out bouncing energy off a CRT is easy. Thought photography? Tough. For rookies. Mentally compositing a data stream, then laying it down on an arrangement of metallic particles in a machine-readable format. That's a fucking challenge and I live for it.
Did you model yourself after the girl in the movie? Did you set out to do people harm?
What? No, God no. Imagine having that sort of power and using it to torture randos. No, that's never been cool. Art can be grim and punishing, but it shouldn't be pointlessly hostile. I grew out of that mindset a long time ago. Found my real voice, my real self. Eventually I even found some like-minded people. We are not into random violence.
Then why make SCP-4581?
I mean, I thought the label was pretty self-explanatory.
You don't consider SCP-4581 Infinite random or violent?
What is SCP-4581 Infinite?
Your info hazard.
Oh, you mean the loop? It's the loop and the jam. Let me ask you a question, researcher Gore. Do you think that building a gun is a violent act?
Yes, a gun is a killing implement. Its design and construction is shaped by intent.
Okay, what about a camera?
I am not sure I follow.
Guns, cameras, cassettes, to me, all tools, good or bad. It's people who put them to work.
Are you saying guns don't kill people?
No, guns are designed for killing, but with training and safeguard, you can use a rifle to hunt game, feed a family, protect a community. It's all responsibility and intent. Mundane cameras kill people too, when they misinterpret or escalate a situation. Propaganda is the bedrock of genocide, yet whoever's behind the lens is always read as neutral, when they're obviously not.
That's an absurd reduction. There are extremes, yes, but there is such a thing as an objective scientific view. A mundane object doesn't blow someone's eardrums out and then wipe them off the internet. That was you. You built a bomb and you sent it to a child.
An objective scientific view. What horseshit. Janitors. You run tests and collapse everything to report and pretend you're not influencing the results. We all change things just by observing. We decide how to observe. That's why there's a choice built into the loop. The, thing. SCP-4581, whatever. You don't have to share the Scalus gossip or that video of a dude getting his head kicked in. You don't have to profit from their pain. You can just scrap that take. Move on. Everyone will be better for it.
I have a printout here. Chat logs describing your use of SCP-4581 Infinite against unidentified right-wing propagandists.
That may have happened.
Will you tell us more about that?
I would prefer not to.
Why?
The circumstances don't matter anymore. It's done. Closed loop. You don't need to worry about that guy.
What makes you so sure the loop is closed? SCP-4581 Infinite could still be lingering around your target or a derivative.
Because I'm a responsible human being, Tipper. When I built this weapon, and yes, I acknowledge it's a weapon, thank you, I included a safety. When the mysterious Mr. Fucko's channel got yanked, I drove by his house playing the jam. I knocked on his door and asked for directions and he said to fuck off. He didn't even have time for dikeys, his business was collapsing, so I went home. Mission complete.
You think you change your target's outlook by destroying their livelihood?
Doubt it. I could have played the tape while screaming, "Stop harassing brown people for money," and he'd still be a racist. That doesn't matter though, because hearts and minds, isn't that the point? It's about power and effect. Y'all are all about containment and protection, right? He used this platform to hurt people. Now he can't. If you actually cared about normies, you'd appreciate my public service. Can I please have my tape back?
No. Why?
It has sentimental value. Plus, I'm an indie librarian of sorts. I prefer it when my loans are returned. No fees, mind you, just that defeats the purpose of mutual aid, but folks typically respect the quid pro quo. What did the tape play for you? What did it leave behind?
I am not at liberty to discuss our investigation.
Really? Shit, not even a consolation prize? Janitors really can't take a joke.
It trolled me with Lady Gaga and Rick Ashley. I've always hated pop music. SCP-4581 Infinite overwrote files with Rage Against the Machine.
Interesting. You should quit your job.
Excuse me?
I mean, not to tell you your business, but SCP-4581 Infinite is a reflection of the operator. It's based on the circumstances that led you to make the mistake of uploading it. If I were to guess, I'd say you were conflicted about your place in the bigger system.
No offense, Steak Shift, but I'm not about to take career advice from someone in their 30s who thinks that a name like Gamers Against Weed is funny.
Again, fair. My sense of humor is terrible. Want to hear a joke?
Not particularly.
Two Oscar Mayer guys on their highway in their Wiener mobile. Been out there for hours, mile after mile, on and on and on. Driver asks his buddy to take the wheel. Passenger says, "No, I can't." Driver says, "I'm dying here. Take the wheel, I need a nap." Passenger shakes his head. Driver flips out. "What the hell is wrong with you? This is part of the job. I've been driving for hours. It's your turn." The passenger just collapses on himself. He says, "I'm sorry I let you down, man. I drive an automatic. I can't handle a steak shift."
Are you done?
Yep.
Will you answer additional questions about your history, education, anomalous abilities, projects, personal enterprise and affiliations, particularly your relationship with GOI 5869 Gamers Against Weed and the members thereof?
Nope.
You were mostly compliant before. What changed?
Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me.
Alright then. Goodbye, MX Masterson. End log. Closing statement. Ren Masterson, POI 6966, was amnesticized and released from Foundation custody in Sudbury. The surveillance team lost contact shortly thereafter. Tracking their whereabouts is considered low priority.